killing a lot more things than I'd like to. You killed your own clone in cold blood, son. You vaporized every last one of our atoms. You did not have it coming. I see you understand now. The lesson that you needed to learn. No, I know you know it, but you just don't know it yet. Your punishment is not over yet, little soul. Until next time.
Hey everybody, Sol here. I have only one rule here. If it's animated, I'll comment on it. Hey everybody, Sol here. I have only one rule here. If it's animated, I'll comment on it. And it's another week. Another day. Another review of me sitting in this chair talking about animation. Yeah. Same old me. Oh, sorry, I got a bit gloomy there. No, we're gonna be all smiles this week. Yeah, nothing but smiles and sunshine. So, for this movie, I am going to cast my gaze a little further away than I usually do to the good old land of France. Yeah, this place has eluded my gaze for quite some time, but today, I am going to be looking at one of their odd little duckies, namely, A Monster in Paris. Sounds gripping. But you know what time it is, right? History time! Yay! So, A Monster in Paris is a CG animated movie produced by about 1 billion different animation companies, directed by Bibo Bergeron, and it was distributed by EuropaCorp Distribution in 2011 to an international market. The film is supposedly loosely based on the 1909 novel The Phantom of the Opera by Gaston Leroux, but the connections between the two are pretty much non-existent. Well, we're off to a real good start, aren't we? No. I gotta remain positive. Must remain positive. After all, that's what good people do, right? They smile, they remain positive, all the time, no matter what. So, let's not beat around the bush anymore. Let's take a look. This is A Monster in Paris. Again, great start here, people. Oh yes, this plot is so stellar I can barely even put it into a coherent synopsis. But, okay, stick with me here. In the year 1910, during the flooding of the Seine River, two friends named Emile and Raoul are futzing around Paris until the plot shunts them to a scientist's botanical workshop, where the two begin screwing around with the clearly dangerous chemicals. And as a result of their screwing around, they inadvertently create a monster in Paris! You with me so far? Alright, well then, here's more plot about a cabaret singer named Lucille who discovers the monster is, in actuality, a mutated, oversized flea from the monkey assistant in the workshop who has the voice of an opera singer. If you just felt some of the blood vessels bursting in the back of your head from the sheer amount of crazy I just said, you can rest assured that I'm right there with you. But anyway, resident villain Commissioner Victor Maynot takes it upon himself to find the supposed monster in order to distract from the Seine river floods and secure his place as the next mayor of Paris. To tell the truth, most of the time when I review something, I always try to imagine how the pitch meetings for the particular thing goes. It's amusing sometimes, yeah, but this is just... How the fuck did the pitch meeting for this one go? I can't even picture it. Nor can I keep every frayed, dangling plot thread in this thing all tied up. It all just sways lazily in the breeze, taunting me, mocking me. But I have to admit defeat on this one. I have no idea what the fuck is going on. Still, you could have a plot of the Golden Gods and it would still all go to shit if your characters suck. And do these characters suck? Well, the prerequisite for that question is to assume that the characters actually have character. But I'm getting a tad ahead of myself here, aren't I? Emile is the protagonist. No, sorry, that's wrong. Raoul is the protagonist. Fuck, no, that's wrong too. Is the protagonist Lucille? Is it the flea? Fuck it, I don't know, and the movie doesn't seem to know either. So I'll just do a simple rundown here instead. There's Emile, a short and shy man with a passion for filming stuff and dressing like a leprechaun. Raoul, a somewhat skeevy delivery man with an almost fetishistic love of his car Catherine. Lucille, a cabaret singer and Raoul's childhood friend of sorts. The mutant flea Francoeur, who can sing and play instruments despite the fact that it is a flea who has been living on a monkey its whole life. And then the villain of this whole affair, Victor Maynot, a douchey, self-absorbed man who has ambitions of being the mayor of Paris and who has the hots for Lucille. Honestly, I could barely muster enough material for just a simple character rundown, so I think that speaks for how engaging these characters are. Emile and Raoul may be the instigators of the conflict, but in the grand scheme of things, they have very little bearing on the plot at all. Tulio and Miguel from the Road to El Dorado, these two cardboard bumblers are not. Lucille is just a girl, so, you know, that is her personality. The only even slightly interesting character is Francoeur, but I think that's mostly just because of his design, and not by any merits of his personality. But good people must find something enjoyable in everything that they do! Of course they would. I mean, only a bad person would have nothing good to say about someone's hard work. No. Only bad people are that merciless, and, you know, I am not a bad person. Yeah, good things. Well, I will say with no qualms that this movie has some great animation quality and some neat designs for certain things, like Francoeur, as I said earlier. There are some interesting sequences that help distract from everything else beating against the frames of this movie like a horde of zombies. Music-wise, it's also quite nice too, but other than the actual song sequences, there isn't really a whole lot that stands out as extremely memorable. Okay, moving on now. Now, I know I'm going to be talking about the bad things here, but I really want to reassure you guys that I am not a bad person, no matter what some intermediaries between life and death might think. You know, I really don't want to have to do this, but judging from the amount of massive problems this movie has, I think it's time to whip out Sol's laundry list of bullshit once more. I don't want to rant about this all day, but I can't help it. There's definitely more than enough material for the infamous list. So here we go, I suppose. Number 1. What? Starting with a vague one, I know, but there's really no other way to put it than just... What? I can't even understand this plot, or how it came to be a reality. There are just so many questions about the complete absurdity of the whole thing. So I guess I'll just break them down next. Number 2. Stop with the plot threads! You already have too many! Free cinema tip. When you have a movie, you have a finite runtime, meaning that plot progression and pacing are of the utmost importance. This movie has so many plot threads, but no protagonist. It has energy, but no motivations. It has characters, but no meaningful interactions. So to have all this crap happening, but still have absolutely no crap happening at all, is almost miraculous in nature. Number 3. All of the romance is just... bad. I'd like to say that the key point of this whole affair is romance, yes. We've got Emile in love with Maud here, Raoul in love with Lucille, Victor in love with Lucille, and Francoeur in love with Lucille too, maybe. That's a lot of romantic subplots to go through, so obviously they'd have to skip the pesky notion of chemistry and move along quickly, right? Oh, and that reminds me. Number 4. Creepy, bestiality romantic subplot? I thought I made myself very clear in My Little Pony Equestria Girls, but apparently I didn't say it loud enough. So then, flea plus human equals It's even weirder in this because fleas lay eggs, as in they're not even mammals. Why on earth does a giant mutated flea have the hots for a human being? Oh, sorry. Got a wee bit shouty there, but I'm back. Number 5. Your characters are so bland, it's almost brain-numbing. I honestly can't even understand why half the characters are even in this movie. As I said, Emile and Raoul instigate the whole mutated flea thing, but once that happens, they have no real reason to stick around. They kinda just do. Because Raoul wants to get into Lucille's pants? But Lucille loves Francoeur, and no, fuck it, there's really no point in going any further. If you can't even keep your plot straight, how on earth are you supposed to keep all the characters in line too? Number 6. Logic? What's that? Let me just say this, a cartoon does not have to follow the logic of the real world. Obviously, that's why it's fiction. But then, let me say this. Why exactly does a flea, completely covered in fertilizer, grow to only 7 feet tall, while a sunflower seed grows to 50 feet tall? I know a flea is smaller than a sunflower seed, but the seed only had 2 squirts of the fertilizer junk, and the flea had the entire thing blow up in its face. If anything, it should be 100 feet tall. Also, I get that the other chemical thing gives the flea an operatic singing voice, but why does that also give it the ability to sing in English, play guitar, and the piano? And another thing, why is Francoeur bulletproof? Also, technically, a flea is a hematophagous species. There's your big word for the day. So that means that at any time, this 7-foot-tall flea could start eating people's blood for sustenance. But don't worry everybody, it's got great big puppy dog eyes, so that makes it okay. Number 7. This movie takes place in Paris. So why doesn't it feel like Paris? Atmosphere is a big thing for me. If I don't feel like I'm actually in the place I'm watching, it's harder for me to get invested. Now, not everything needs to have an atmospheric approach, sure, but this is Paris! In 1910! Surely it couldn't be that hard to make me feel like I'm really there. After all, Ratatouille had no problem doing this, so why can't you? Number 8. 3D gimmick shots. You guys already probably know how I feel about this, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. Number 9. Oh god, the comedy! It burns! This movie can't decide if it wants to be a straight-up slapstick affair, a witty play-on-words type comedy, or a whole mass of visual gags. But hey, having a variety of comedy is great and keeps things from getting stale, right? Yes, well, that's only on the condition that the comedy is actually, you know, funny. And this movie's comedy is just ugh. Number 10. What is the point of all this? And at the end of this debacle, what have we learned? That sometimes mankind is more monster than the actual monsters? Jesus Christ, that's the type of lesson I would expect undiscovered protozoa living at the bottom of the Marianas Trench to know, let alone a general movie-going public. So I know I'm slinging a lot of shit this movie's way, but I want to assure you that I'm not doing it out of any personal grudge or vendetta, or that I'm having fun doing it. Well, not this time at least. I thought that this movie might be a hidden gem based on some things I'd heard about it, but no, that turned out to not be the case at all. I wanted this to be a good experience, but instead, all I got was shoveled shit right into my face. And the worst part about it is that I feel totally alone on this front. But that's the case, isn't it? That I'm alone here. A Monster in Paris is just so odd. Its existence is just this extremely odd, uncomfortable mass of strangeness. I wish I could just say that I could go along with the ride and have fun with it, but unfortunately, I just don't see it that way. I just see a barely coherent mess of a film with flimsy characters, creepy, clunky romance, and an overall baffling approach to storytelling. Maybe I'm missing something here, but the way I see it, there's almost no reason to check out this buggy little beast. I give A Monster in Paris 1 eye out of 5. So, A Monster in Paris. Is it watchable? I would say yes. I mean, it's nice to look at, but you might want to keep some flowcharts handy so you can follow this shit better than I did. Is it enjoyable? Well, it seems like a lot of viewers have been having a field day drawing humanized characters of Francoeur, but other than that, it seems like a lot of people are enjoying this, critics and audiences alike, a lot more than me, so that's fine, I suppose. I guess that's a yes, then. Is it memorable? Fuck. I don't even know. You know, I don't know. I mean, I can't speak for everyone. I don't have all the answers. Just maybe because I am a...
Am I a bad person? 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 Well, if I am a bad person,
Want to stay up to date with the latest EyeofSol news? You can follow me on Twitter as well as on Facebook at twitter.com/EyeofSol299 and facebook.com/EyeofSol. I update them every day, so if you want to check out news on the show as well as updates, just follow the links here. Hey everybody, thanks for watching my review of A Monster in Paris. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, I would love a like and a share of this video, as well as a subscription to my channel, because I really do appreciate that. Or if you want to see the previous Sol episodes, you can see the annotations playing on the video right now. Or if you want to check out my various social media sites, you can see my links to my Twitch channel, Twitter page, and my Facebook fan page there on the screen for you, as well as in the description. If you have an idea for an animated series or movie you want me to comment on, you can leave me a message in the YouTube comments on any one of my social media sites, or just let me know in any way you can think of to let me know what you want to see, and I will add it to my list. Okay? Thanks again for watching everybody, and I will see you next week for the season finale.